Good afternoon and welcome to Educate to Motivate special webinar, Developing a Successful Marketing Plan, Part 2. I'm Jessy Crawford and today I'm joined with my colleague Chelsea Cagle. For those of you who join us today, you might have joined us 2 weeks ago for our Part 1 where we outlined the important steps within a digital marketing plan. Now, digital marketing is simply marketing that makes use of electronic devices such as computers, and it's a field that is constantly evolving, so it's very important to begin to understand the importance of incorporating into your business. You can review that recording on our YouTube channel at Educate to Motivate LLC, and you can also visit our website at www.educate2motivate.com to explore all of our services that we offer. Before we start today's call, here are a few housekeeping items. We will hold the questions until the end of the call today. It'll be about 30-20 minutes, and there are 2 ways you can ask a question. On your GoToWebinar toolbar, you can click on the hand icon and we will unmute you, and you may pose your question that way to the group, or you can type your questions into the chat box throughout the call. Today's program is being recorded and will be available on our YouTube channel as well as our sent out on in an email later this week. Our goal in the call is to provide you with our highest level of service and expertise possible. Today, Chelsea and I will be discussing 2 specific digital marketing goals. These goals will be further developed as we look into the implementation process and the do's and don'ts while trying to achieve these goals. Plus, stay tuned for a special offer at the end of the call today for how to receive a goal-specific digital marketing plan. Chelsea will be starting us off with our first marketing objective or goal. Go ahead.
Great.
Thanks for joining us, Chelsea.
Thanks, Jess. One marketing objective that we found people have had challenges with is gaining more followers on their social media platforms. So if this is your objective, we suggest using content marketing as the strategy in order to accomplish this goal. So what is content marketing? Content marketing, the definition is creating and distributing valuable content to attract your target audience without having to use a direct sales pitch. This content should be educational, relative, and informative to your audience. If one of your marketing goals is to gain more likes on Facebook, more followers on Twitter, or more group members in your LinkedIn group, a few tactics are to enable social sharing buttons. A great place to put these buttons is your blog and also on your website. What we personally do is on our website, we have the social sharing buttons at the bottom of every page, and it allows readers to share on sites such as LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook. They can share it to people via email, Google+, WordPress. We also allow people to do it on Tumblr or StumbleUpon. And if you'd like to check out an example, as you all know, or some of you may know, we also are our other company is InnoVision. So if you check out www.innovision.com, you can see how we have our social sharing buttons on there. Another tactic is to invite employees, partners, vendors, clients, and customers to follow your social media profiles. The more followers you have, the more exposure that you'll get online. So if people share your content or your articles, or they comment on a Facebook status, it's going to show up in it'll show up on their profile, and then it'll be seen by others. So it's just a way to gain more exposure. Another tactic is to follow your followers because they're more than likely going to follow you back. And again, just more exposure. Another idea is to put all of your social media profiles on your business cards. So what we do for InnoVision for our business cards is the front of it is all of our contact information, and then the back of it we have a link to our own LinkedIn profiles, the IKV blog, and then our Twitter account. And then another idea is to offer incentives. So any kind of giveaways, promotions, discounts, free downloads such as white papers or any other educational materials. Okay, so we're going to just run a quick poll. I'd just like to see how many of you use content marketing in your marketing plan. So I'm going to go ahead and launch this. Just give it a couple of minutes or a couple seconds. Okay, so it looks like about 70% voting, 86 voted. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and close it. So it looks like 33% do use content marketing, which is good, and 67% don't. Okay. So why should you include content marketing in your marketing plan? According to marketing profs, the top 3 reasons that companies use content marketing is to engage customers and prospects, drive sales, and educate the market. Per dollar spent, content marketing generates approximately 3 times as many leads as traditional marketing, and it costs 62% less than traditional marketing. Customers would rather learn about a brand or company through content marketing. 82% of customers feel more positive about a company after reading custom content, and 70% feel closer to a company as a result of content marketing. And according to a study done in the fall of 2013, LinkedIn was the top social media site B2B content marketers use to distribute content. So 91% use LinkedIn, 85% use Twitter, Facebook was at 81%, and YouTube followed with 73%. So now we're just going to go over some tips, some do's and some don'ts when implementing your strategy of content marketing to gain more followers on social media. So the first is to do post regularly to your social media profiles. You use keyword-rich articles and descriptions to help with SEO. And again, SEO is just going to help you get found, get more exposure, increase your rankings on the search engines. Use hashtags for any of those keywords if you're on Facebook or if you're on Twitter. And tweets with hashtags get 2 times more engagement because people can just click on that hashtag and then find all these articles with the hashtag included. Change up the type of content. According to a study by Marketing Profs, the most effective content marketing tactics in 2013 were in-person events, case studies, videos and webinars, and blogs. And another tip is to use images and graphics instead of text, just because it is more visually appealing and the eye is going to go to an image before it's going to go to text. Reuse and recycle content, which kind of goes with what I said above. You can use the same content, but in a different way to deliver it. So you could break up an article into different bits and pieces. So use part of an article for a social media blurb. You can use another part and do a short video blog about it, or expand on another part of the article and write another short article. So you can use one article and it can be broken down into 6 to 7 different pieces. And that's just a way to, if you don't have a lot of content, it's a way to be able to reuse it without sounding repetitive. Post relevant content that readers will enjoy. So for any of our Educate to Motivate members, what we did in January, our article was about new tax laws in 2014. So any current events that people are going to find helpful, or any educational pieces. So like for our estate planning niche, a lot of it's about techniques because the reader's going to find that, or techniques used in estate planning, because readers find that interesting. 60% of consumers enjoy reading relevant content from brands, and 70% of people would rather learn about a company through articles rather than through an advertisement. Okay, so don't saturate your audience. Just an example of this, there's a difference between posting on Twitter and posting on LinkedIn or Facebook because the news feeds are different. So Twitter, it's current time. In Facebook, it's either most recent or top stories. So it's different if you're going to be posting 10 to 15 times on Twitter within a day, because people, especially, it's going to depend on how many people you follow. But that's going to look different on people's news feeds than it's going to on Facebook or LinkedIn. One tip is to do reference other people's work. Share articles written by others. So like I said earlier, use those social sharing buttons. Share if you find something on LinkedIn that you think that your LinkedIn connections will find relevant or interesting, or any educational pieces that they'd find helpful, share those, and it's going to help that person with their exposure, but then it's also that person's probably going to reciprocate. So a don't always self-promote. So again, like I said, share something that somebody else has written that you might find that your readers will find interesting, And chances are that person's probably going to reciprocate and share one of your articles, and then that in turn is going to give you more exposure online, and it can help you gain more followers. Do engage in conversation. Post conversation starters. A great place to do this is LinkedIn groups. So if any of you are in our InnoVision group on LinkedIn, you can find InnoVision News, E2M News, and then we also allow others to post articles, current events, or if they need advice, or if they have a question about something, they can post it there, and it's for everybody to engage and to talk about. And then again, comment on other people's posts and conversations, reply to others' Facebook statuses or LinkedIn posts, and then on Twitter, search specific hashtags and engage in conversation that way. Do always remain professional. So everybody makes mistakes every once in a while, and you might find grammar errors, but be sure to edit, and have others look over your work before you're posting. Have 2 people take a look at it before you post anything. And be careful what you post online, because nothing ever dies online and it's around forever. And stay courteous. If you find a negative review or complaint about your company or your employees or your products or services, address them professionally. Don't criticize the reader, speak bad about them, because that's going to reflect negatively on you and your company. Don't forget about the horror stories that you've read about online. There's been stories about employees that have been writing inappropriate tweets on their company Twitter because they accidentally wrote it on there instead of their own personal Twitter account, which I'm not going to lie, if any of you are on Twitter on the mobile app, your iPhone app, it's easy to do because you just switch back and forth between profiles. But be aware of that. There was a story about an employee a few years ago for KitchenAid that wrote an irresponsible tweet about President Obama's deceased grandmother during the presidential debate. And KitchenAid had a lot of damage control to do to clean that up. So you can see one person's mistake reflects poorly on the entire brand. And in part 1, we talked about how people use automated software to schedule their social media posts in advance. If this is the case, be aware of timing issues. A story of this is the NRA Twitter account sent out a tweet that it would be normal for them any other day of the year, but they sent out a tweet that read, "Morning shooters, happy Friday, any weekend plans?" the day after the Aurora, Colorado theater shooting. And they admitted that it was automated. They'd had scheduled it, weeks or months in advance, but it was just really bad timing. So always be aware of what's going out, what you have scheduled, and we can't stress enough to double check and triple check your work. Lastly, our last tip is to have your links on your social media profiles anywhere and everywhere possible. So for us, we have it on our website. That's the first place. So Educate to Motivate has them on the bottom of every page of our website. You can find our Facebook page, our LinkedIn, our YouTube, our Google+. And then for InnoVision, we actually have them on the sidebar of every page of our website. Another place is to have them is on your blog, your email templates, or your email signatures. Cross-promote them on other platforms. So have on your LinkedIn profile, have links to your Facebook and your Twitter there. And just make it easy for people to get to your profiles without having to search really hard for them. That brings us to how can Educate to Motivate help you if your objective is to gain more social media followers. The top 2 challenges that B2B marketers face when it comes to content marketing is finding the time to create the content, and secondly, they find they don't produce enough quality content. So that's where we come in. We offer a content marketing service to make your marketing easier. You can purchase articles in 3 different niches: estate planning, business planning, or high net worth. Some of the topics include asset protection, life insurance, buy-sell agreements, wills and trusts, and charitable gifting. You're able to edit the content, add your logo, and add your brand and brand it to your company. So add your company colors. You can do all of that without any copyright restrictions, and you can post it to your website or your blog, or you can take the information that you just learned and post this content to your social media platforms using the tips that I provided. And if gaining more social media followers using content marketing is not your main marketing objective, I'm going to turn it over to Jessy, who's going to go over another marketing goal.
All right, thank you, Chelsea. So if your next marketing objective or your first marketing objective is to generate larger email lists, we're going to touch base on using the strategy email marketing. Since on average, Americans receive more than 100 emails a day, marketers must master the art of getting their emails seen in a crowded inbox. Email marketing is similar to social media, as Chelsea mentioned, in that it's a marketing tool that's most effective for follow-up and not lead generation. So it's important to understand that you're going to need to track your progress, track who's clicking on your links within the bodies of the emails to better understand who's reading them and what to send next. So some simple strategies on how to accomplish the goal of marketing or of email marketing is to add contact forms on your website. And we touched base on this on our last presentation. And this is just a simple form that interfaces with your email database, and it's just going to collect the information of the name, email, and sometimes it's really nice to also gather their phone number as a requirement, so then you have that in your database as well for further communication. An email subscription form on your blog, and that's just going to be the same pretty much as your website, but depending on what platform you use for your blog, whether it be WordPress or just a blog that is actually connected to your website, your webmaster could help you with that. And so, as Chelsea mentioned, social media, you can always send out a link or post with a link to register, say, stay in touch with InnoVision's weekly or monthly newsletters, or, keep in touch with Educate to Motivate's monthly marketing webinar. Another way to do this is to put out a fishbowl and offering a giveaway in exchange for addresses. So you could do this at a local conference or a business meeting. When we used to travel for InnoVision or host our conferences, we'd give away something simple as Starbucks gift cards or even something as large as an iPad. And this just really also it collects the information that just a simple business card to get into your system, but it also brings a lot more people to your table and engages them. So the last step for the strategy is going to be to collect contact information from everyone who calls your office. So just, you can simply say we're updating our database and we want to make sure we have the correct information. A simple way to capture their email address there. Now, email marketing is a great way to reach consumers directly that uses email as a marketing communication delivery method. So you're going to want to, this is going to help you build loyalty, acquire new customers, advertise or promote your products and or services. So it's going to be a way to educate your subscribers or contacts. We're going to run a poll to figure out who in the audience has already established some type of email marketing. Chelsea, if you'd please run that.
Okay.
And again, we're just trying to get an idea, it's just a yes or no answer, to see who has already at least started incorporating the email marketing or has not.
Okay. Looks like 75% voted, so I'm going to go ahead and close it.
Okay, so it looks like we have 33% of you have started to incorporate and 67 said no. So for that 67 that have not, you're going to want to listen to this because nearly 9 in 10 marketers say that email is their primary channel for lead generation. You're really going to start to fall behind if all of your competition or your industry members have already established this into their marketing program. And half of email marketers use email for lead generation, for building their brand, for driving sales, and establishing thought leadership. Half of this, 70% of B2B marketers, see email as critical or very important. So in the marketing world or industry, we're telling you it's important to establish this into your initiatives. 68% of marketers say that email marketing is the core to their business, and that's from a chart from Marketing Profs. So let's not forget about this. So if you haven't already started this is going to be what's important. And we're going to talk about the implementation in order to generate these larger email lists and how to send on a send regular email blasts without oversaturating your readers. And Chelsea touched base on that with the social media. Just as social media, you're not going to want to oversaturate your readers. So we're really going to make sure that you're targeting specific groups within your contacts. In your emails, use graphics, images, and not too much text. And be sure to pay attention to your analytics and measure the life cycle stages of your customers or your prospects. So let's think about some do's and don'ts. This is going to be important to just jot down what you're going to want to begin with. The first do is to target your audience. As I mentioned, to segment, you're going to want to behavioral target trigger your email campaigns, and this is going to achieve according to a Monstate survey, 30% higher open rates and a 50% higher click-through rate than undifferentiated messages. So it really shows how important it is to send messages of importance to a specific individual, not just oversaturating your entire database with everything. So to considerably improve your marketing results, stop treating everyone on your email list the same. Some easy ways to do this is you can resend your email campaign with a new call to action with those who've opened it but haven't clicked. So you can really start to notice who's clicking on what to help segment that. Resend an email with another subject line to those who haven't opened, and we suggest just doing that with a couple days after. So make sure you're not sending to the same who have opened, but you're just switching it up. So it's kind of goes with testing. Or just even prepare a new email campaign, and this is just something maybe you need to reevaluate quarterly. Try changing the name to a more personal one. That's just in the subject line. So let's say if it said, Jessica, change it to Jessy for a more personable way to communicate to the reader. So you can also target this based on event, an action, or specified time. So we notice that certain days are better to send at, certain times. It's kind of all over the board. I know that there's been lots of research saying that Monday or Thursdays, really there's not one universal day to send on, and social media always is different too, since most professionals tend to check their social media on the weekends. Sometimes it's best to send, even keep posting over the weekend. But with email, you're just going to have to test that. But send out specific things based on an event. So we have special invites out for our webinars, something as simple as that. And send content-specific emails. As Chelsea mentioned, E2M, we separate our emails into two different niches. And we have an estate planning, which is just an overall estate planning niche. And then we have our business planning, so we target business owner individuals. Since on average Americans receive more than 100 emails a day, it's really important to target your audience. Another good tip is for marketing prof states that questions spike in interest for the viewers and encourage click-throughs. So simple, have you established marketing? That's something that we ask, or we always start off our webinars to get our readers enticed in what's coming next. So a don't is to send the same message to your entire database. We can't stress this enough. It's not a one-size-fits-all in email marketing strategy. You need to make sure you're testing and sending specific targeted emails. Do pay attention to your subject line. And I did mention this before, but it's important with the name, including that into your subject line greatly increases your risk of opening up emails. So an easy way to do this for each send is to write out 3 to 5 subject lines for each email, make them short, engaging, and personal, and then choose the best one you come up with. You can do A to B testing to find out which one works best. That can be simply, if you send twice a month, you can test one email with one message, one with the second, or you can do split up your group and do the A/B testing subject lines that way. It seems from the research that punctuation is necessary, so whether you put a period or an exclamation point, I mean obviously that exclamation point is going to it's going to make it more noticeable that it's an important step, or it's almost like it's yelling something, or something that's really drawing your attention. Capital letters result in lift in engagement, so starting each word off as such as a title, or wording a subject line or capitalizing such as titles do in articles or books. As I said before, personalization increases open rates, so use their first name. One thing not to do is use spam trigger words in your subject line. So in this industry, sometimes we fall accustomed to using affordable or just for X amount of dollars, no fees or money back. Really stay cautious about. And now there is nothing that directly says that trigger words will spam. It does increase your chances. For your email messages to land in a spam requires a couple different things. So it's not only the subject line, but why not just stay clear of that. Do send a welcome message as an introduction to a new email. Now I really like this idea because it's a nice soft introduction to who you are and why you're emailing and maybe what you email. Let's say if it's a monthly or or you send twice a month. It's just a nice way to say, you know, we send out an invitation this day and we send out an article this day of the week or this day of the month. And that way people know what to pay attention to and what is going to be vital for them to be interested in. Do include an unsubscribe link. This is just simply, you're going to allow your readers to disengage if they want. Plus, it's illegal to not include one, so you're going to need to make sure to do that. But it makes your readers feel like they're not trapped into receiving your information, and there's nothing worse than to keep receiving over and over again emails that you have unsubscribed to. Plus, I know that I have had problems finding unsubscribe buttons on promotional emails that just drive me crazy. Here's another do. Follow with readers who show interest. Now this is simply just a follow-up that you're going to want to do either with a salesperson or your marketing department. Marketing Prof states that 48% of salespeople never follow up with a prospect. That's almost 50%, so that's kind of crazy. 25% of salespeople make a second contact then stop, and 12% of salespeople make more than 3 contacts. So that's pretty low. So it's really vital that you're going to be following up with who's clicking, who's showing interest, because it's important to better understand who you're sending to and maybe convert that prospect to a lead. This goes hand in hand with the follow-up. Don't forget to analyze testing and sends. And you can do this by campaign, so depending on when you're sending. And you're going to want to analyze the overall clicks and who is clicking. So this can better segment your group send list as well as the content that you're sending. Which leads us to how we can help. Now, some of you might not have this in place, which is an easy thing to establish through E2M. We design newsletters unique to you. We brand them to your company. We personalize it with your tagline. And then we add your headshot and logo. So it really looks like it's coming from you. We write the own content. We have professional writers on staff that with a background in estate planning. And then we have the niches estate planning or business planning. So those articles come out and then we send them for you in the newsletter templates. We send it. So that's another step that we do. We not only provide you with the newsletters, the articles, but then we also send it to you. So you just provide us with your subscriber list, and then we go ahead and send it out. We send it out once a month, up to 3,000 clients, prospects, or referral sources. So that's nice to really, all you have left to do is the follow-up. And this is where you're going to be expecting results. You're going to want to convert these leads to prospects. And up to 6 calls to action on your newsletter. So you get to pick things like request a call or view our upcoming workshops. A great way to promote your publications so people can see some type of some things that you've done in the past. And a nice thing about these calls to actions are you get alerted immediately when someone clicks. So that leads us to what we mentioned, or I mentioned in the beginning of the call. For those who are interested, we are doing a special promotion this month of April. If you sign up for our Platinum membership, which is $240 a month, and that is our highest package level because it includes the 6 calls to action. You get a special place in the center where you get to do your customized text, so you can easily just do a promotion that month, or if you hire on a new employee, it's a great way to introduce the new employee, or even to personally thank clients or prospects. Let's say that someone's helped you in the past month. It's a great way to do that when we have publications on there as well. Include all of your social media. So going along with gaining more social media exposure, that's a great way to do it because we're incorporating that into the newsletter. So if you sign up for the Platinum membership, we have a free digital marketing plan. And these are going to be based specific to your marketing objectives. So whether it be to gain more social media followers or to increase your email exposure, this is going to be an easy plan to develop that with the strategy, the implementation, and the end results that you're going to have to track. So we kind of just break it out for you, so you don't have to go ahead and hire somebody to do that or write that. So again, it's just the month of April, and if you are interested, you could go ahead and email Chelsea or myself, and that's at chelsea@educatetomotivate.com or jessy@educatetomotivate.com. And we also have stuff on our website that go through a little more thoroughly of what that membership plan entails. And again, it's the Platinum membership. So then you could go through the whole template of what it kind of looks through. And we did a mock-up using Chelsea and my picture, and we just go through. And we also have some great samples of articles that we've sent in the past. So we could go ahead and open it for questions and answers. And like I mentioned before, you can raise your hand on the toolbar. We can click on that and you can ask your question to the group, or if you're feeling a little shy today, you can chat your into the chat box. Just type it in and we can answer it for you, read the question and answer it for you over the call. And if you don't think of any questions you have right now, but you think of one later this week or tomorrow or after you watch the recording again, you can feel free to email Chelsea or myself.
Doesn't look like we have any questions, Jess.
All right, one last thing. Don't forget to subscribe or follow us on our social media. We do have a LinkedIn company page where we post educational pieces, and you also get updated on our webinars that we host, as well as on Facebook and Twitter. And our YouTube is a great way to revisit any broadcast that we've recorded. We have all of our recordings on there, and the Google Plus falls the same as LinkedIn and Facebook. And then you can also connect with us personally on LinkedIn.
Okay. Well, thank you everybody for taking the time to be on our call today. And like we said, if you have any questions, feel free to email us. You can call us. And we'd really appreciate it if you guys could take a moment to fill out our survey question at the end, just so we can better help our audience. So we hope everybody has a great Easter weekend. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.